Whatever living beings there may be, whether they are weak or strong, omitting none, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born, may all beings be at ease. One of the founders of Spirit Rock in California, Sylvia Boorstein, is a Buddhist teacher and author, well known for teaching metta, or loving kindness meditation. Metta uses the repetition of simple phrases to cultivate goodwill toward all beings. It's based on an attitude of acceptance called unconditional friendliness, free of all judgment and blame. Metta can be practiced formally or right in the middle of daily life, simply by remembering the words of well-wishing.
A friend of mine has a wonderful metaphor for what the metta practice is. It's a sweetener of the mind. And he said the mind actually is something like tofu. You know, tofu doesn't have a very big taste about itself. And those of you who cook know that the dish that you cook with the tofu depends on the marinade that the tofu is prepared with. And so my friend says, when you think about what you marinate the mind in as really being what generates the kind of being that you are and the kind of way that you project yourself in the world. I'd been practicing mindfulness meditation for about 10 years before I really seriously began to practice metta meditation. Jack Kornfield was one of my first Buddhist teachers. He is now my very good colleague. We teach together. One generation ago, people going to Asia and practicing. And in the beginning, I thought perhaps that sounds too... I'm actually the first generation of Westerners, trained by Westerners.
Well, also my practice is teaching, because every time that I talk about something that I really value, I'm looking in the mirror.
It is said that the Buddha first taught metta when his disciples were setting out to live and meditate in the forest, which was full of wild animals. They asked for protection, and to calm their fear, Buddha gave them metta practice. Around the same time, legend has it that one of Buddha's enemies drove a drunken elephant into his camp, intending for Buddha to be killed. But when the wild elephant charged down on him, Buddha radiated loving kindness. The strength of his compassion was so great that the elephant stopped in his tracks and became quiet, dropping to his knees before Buddha in a bow of deep devotion and respect.
We do have specific practices that involve the saying of phrases. The phrases please me. They make me happy. They bring a certain amount of calm to my mind and my body. So they're useful as phrases. But truly, it's not about the saying of any particular phrase. Metta practice is really paying attention to the condition of the heart. Really, that's the practice of metta. You can do this meditation however you are sitting. You can be on the floor, and you can be on a chair. You can be cross-legged. You can be any way that you want. Actually, one of the things that I like to say is make yourself at home. It's not about saying the words, it's about having the intention. So let's sit a little bit in whatever way you feel at home. Eyes open or closed. Doesn't matter if they're open or closed. Feel for a moment how it feels to be alive. It's exciting. Feel your body. Breath by breath, here we are. And it's available to us with every breath of our lives to be wishing well. The very wish itself soothes our own heart, as I think it contributes to the well-being of the world. I'll remind you of the wishes, and you say them to yourself. May I feel protected and safe. May I feel contented and pleased. May my physical body support me with strength. May my life unfold smoothly, with ease. Think about someone that you love very, very much. People that you have no trouble at all wishing well for. You can, into that same space in your mind and your heart, invite some other people. People who perhaps are other kin, friends. People whose names are written in the address book of your heart. People who you recognize, who are part of your life, feel warmly about. I think it was a marvelous idea of the Buddha to teach loving-kindness meditation with the instructions that we start first with the people we love the most. It so delights the mind to bring to mind the people with whom we have loving connections, and it's actually that delight that carries us along in the well-wishing. May you feel protected and safe. May you feel contented and pleased. May your physical body support you with strength. May your life unfold smoothly, with ease. There's a sense that I have when I say those phrases that I'm connected with a lineage that's 2,500 years old. I imagine that ever since the time of the Buddha, when he taught those same words, that people have been saying them continuously, and that in a sense it's been an unbroken chorus of well-wishing voices that's gone on for 2,500 years. I find that the teachings are universal, and that people with all kinds of backgrounds can work with them.
I've been practicing very seriously since 1995 now, in a very focused way, a couple of years in Asia, a couple of years in California. My life revolves around the Buddhist path since '95.
Margot Sangster works as a counselor and social worker near Vancouver, British Columbia. She also teaches Metta Meditation at a weekly sitting group. To deepen her own metta practice, Margot attends retreats at Spirit Rock.
And that's what gives me the strength to do the work I do now, and to function in a world that is so troubled in so many ways.
Hi, Margot. Hey, Sharon. How you doing?
Good. Guess what?
What?
I spent money on groceries instead of beer.
All right. Good woman. I'm very proud.
In the beginning, to be honest, it was quite overwhelming to be hearing so many stories on a daily basis of so much suffering.
Yeah, no,
It was a fertile opportunity, though, to practice loving kindness And then also to practice compassion.
I hope you're taking care of yourself in all of this.
I'll connect with anyone on the streets. I just meet them where they are, and if they're suffering, then I want to try to, if I can, offer them something. It can be something as simple as looking them in the eyes. It can be something as simple as a smile. But it's about respecting life, all of life, whatever the life circumstances of that person are. So I'll connect and offer what I can in any circumstance. And it's hard work. I don't want to minimize that. It isn't easy. Actually, it takes a huge amount of courage to open to suffering. A huge amount of courage. And I always say it's not a path for the faint-hearted.
I got something for you. Hang on.
Oh, what a sweetheart you are. Oh,
Merry Christmas.
thank you very much.
But I stole it from the farewell office.
Oh, that's very sweet.
If you open to the suffering of the world, then you also get the joy of the world. And if you don't open to the suffering of the world, you aren't getting all of the joy that's available to you. It's a package deal. We don't get to choose just the joy and exclude the suffering. Hey, Robert. How you doing?
Not bad, not bad.
I'm working with income assistance recipients, providing counseling, assessment, referral, outreach.
Yeah, I want to.
I work with people who are having a hard time, are really struggling just to sort of make it through day by day. Suffering is part of the human condition. When we come to understand that, that can be hugely liberating. Well, metta or loving kindness fits into this in a big way in terms of it's a wonderful gift to offer to everyone, to ourselves, to those we're working with, to the whole world. And it really provides a support, a foundation for the work that I do.
When we wish ourselves well in metta practice, we build confidence in our own capacity and worth as human beings. Extending friendliness to the world reflects our own basic goodness. Metta meditation gives us the courage to face whatever life brings without being overwhelmed or fearful.
Metta meditation, it's about setting an intention to wish well and then letting unfold what unfolds. And many people forget that, particularly Westerners, because we have so much, or many of us at least, have so much self-hatred. So we often wish it to others, but we have sometimes great difficulty wishing it to ourselves. So that's part of the healing journey. Your ability to wish yourself well profoundly affects your ability to wish others well. I've become very aware of the fact that if I don't take really good care of myself, I won't be of any use to the client. So I know what I need to do. So trying to meditate daily, trying to meditate before I go into work, and also practicing with teachers as much as possible. Really taking care of myself on all levels, emotional, physical, spiritual. Sending ourselves loving kindness, that intention to wish well. The Buddha said that we could search the whole world over and find no one more deserving of loving kindness than ourselves. And as we wish to be well, so too do all other beings everywhere, without exception. So we radiate loving kindness out to all beings everywhere, those that are seen and unseen, known and unknown, to the north and to the south, to the west and to the east, above and below, whether young or old, male or female, of color or white, of all sexual orientations, of all religious backgrounds. Sending loving kindness out to all beings everywhere without exception. Opening our hearts to receive loving kindness. Opening our hearts to send loving kindness.
Increasingly, on a very deep level, I'm understanding that the sense or the perception that there's a difference between self and other really is an illusion. We take ourselves to be separate than others, and we see others as others, and we create some sort of barrier, some sort of boundary between the two.
Hey there. How you doing?
$1 million question. It does make a difference.
The more I've practiced meditation, the more I'm starting to see the fallacy of that. The more I'm starting to see that there is no differentiation between self and other. So whether a person is homeless or whether the person is a Fifth Avenue executive, it doesn't really matter. Really, we are more interconnected than we understand. The more you give, the more that comes back to you, and it really is a cycle. It really is an interconnected cycle.
Be well.
When you're in that open heart space, you're really resting in the divine, and that's a gift. And for those who touch that place, obviously it's a very beautiful place to rest. And you're touching the sacred. And the sacred is beautiful, and the sacred moves one to tears, not necessarily from a place of suffering, from a place of joy.
There's a huge amount of freedom and a huge amount of liberation that's waiting for people, for those who are willing to show up and work with what is. And meditation is a fairly simple practice in many ways. It's being mindful of the present moment and all that it holds for you, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant. Can be hugely transformative.
I think it's really important to say that metta is not a practice that one does apart from the routine of one's daily life. It's really the practice of keeping an open heart in all the situations in life. I think about normal situations like driving in my car, driving along and finding myself perhaps caught in very heavy traffic, and maybe becoming tense because I'm late for some place that I want to go, that I begin to have not so friendly thoughts about the people around me. And if I think to myself at that moment, I'm so uncomfortable. This discomfort was not getting me where I'm going any faster. It's actually causing me a lot of pain. And if I look around and I think, I don't know anything about the people in those cars. It's true in traffic and it's true every place else. I have no idea. Since this other person is a person just like me. They're likely challenged in one way or another, just as I am. And when I remember that, then I wish them well. Then I'm able to wish them well in the traffic wherever you go. May you get there better. And I'm actually able to reconnect with the fact that I am happiest when my heart's able to express itself in a loving way. That's not an extraordinary talent that I have. It's really the talent that all human beings were born with. I think this whole practice was designed for people to remember what actually is the potential of the heart. I have this great sense that the future of the world very much depends on people remembering that their natural inclination is to goodness. Really, I think it depends on that for us to be able to take the world with the many problems that face it now and address the problems in the way that is most constructive, as friends, as colleagues, as part of the great human family.
Even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child, so with a boundless heart should one cherish all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world.
I think about images that I remember where someone has just opened a door and there's a basket with a baby. We wouldn't hesitate for a minute. We would pick it up and take care of it. In the morning when we open the door, instead of seeing a basket on the front step, that we'll look past our own particular front steps and we'll look out and we'll see that the whole world is a baby that's crying. It needs to get fed, it needs to get washed, it needs to get taken care of. We could, each of us, look out and say, I'm going to take care of that baby out there.